Hello guys, hello, Mass back again for our Christmas episode. Yeah, I don't even know how you're supposed to wear these things. I guess you might as well be a little festive, right? Let me get my thumbnail at least. Alright, that's enough. I don't know how to wear these things, right? It looks stupid. But anyway, hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's enjoying the holidays as much as you possibly can. For those who do celebrate, get a little time off school or work. I got a couple days off. Then it's back to the grind. Trying to get this car, man. That's all that's on my mind right now. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the holidays, just talking about what the holidays are, what they were, and how it's just not, unfortunately, for a lot of us, it's not that no more due to the way things is. Now, growing up, I friggin' had sporadic good Christmas experiences. I had probably 2 or 3 that were actually, the stereotypical Christmas experiences. My family, I grew up in the projects. I grew up in, in low-income housing all over, my hometown. So, we wasn't really expecting much for Christmas. So those 2 or 3 years, my mom actually messed around. Because, when you're a kid, I hate to make it about that. I can hear people saying it now. That Christmas isn't about the gifts and blah, blah, blah. When you're a kid, it's about the gift. It's about the gifts, man. It's about having time off of school, getting new clothes and shoes maybe before you go back for a Christmas break. Maybe a new jacket or something like that. Hopefully something name brand. And gifts. It's about gifts, bro. It's about games, about video games, about Call of Duty, it's about Xbox, it's about PlayStation. It's about gifts. I need new games, I need new controller, I need new headset, I need new cool stuff. And that's what it was about as kids. And parents, I think they knew that. And this is why, when my mom was able to do stuff for us, it was super special because my mom has a very interesting way of expressing herself. And, she'd be kind of frustrated around the holidays, on most holidays, where she couldn't do anything for us. I'd always wonder why she'd be, a little bit more, nitpicky and upset and a little bit more stressed out and looking for any reason to say, see, this is why you can't get nothing for Christmas because you blah, 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 blah. Because you didn't wash the bowl out good enough. Or she would come up with any reason to try to, so when Christmas comes up and you don't get anything, she could say, remember that bowl? Remember you didn't wash it that good? But I know what that really was. No excuses for stuff like that. But it really was her probably being very, just, I'm not going to say guilty, but, a little bit feeling like maybe not embarrassed either. Just feeling bad because she couldn't really do anything for us. And then meanwhile, my cousins all want to visit. And they're coming over just to, the parents want to visit and hang out and, smoke, chill, talk, whatever. My mom doesn't smoke, but, just hanging out. And my cousins are all coming over. Look at my ripstick. Remember those? Look at my ripstick. Look at my skateboard. Look at my laser tag gun. Look at, I brought my PlayStation. Look at this new Hulk game. Look at this new Spider-Man game. I got Spider-Man 3. This game, it's like Grand Theft Auto. You can do whatever you want. Look at this Naruto game. You can fight. And it's like Dragon Ball Z, but it's like kids and da-da-da. And meanwhile, me, my brothers, and us, we just sitting there yeah, well, I got some deodorant. Or I got socks. Or, whatever she could find at the dollar store. But I think she felt, just real bad. There's a word I'm looking for. But I think she just felt, a little less than good. There's a word I'm looking for. It's slipping my mind right now. If it comes back up, I'll get it. But yeah, she tried her best. One thing I will give her is she did try her best. Inadequate was the word I was looking for. She might be feeling like inadequate, insufficient, an unfit provider or whatever. Because none of our fathers were really around, like, in a capacity to really help us out with that type of stuff. And plus, my dad is Islamic. They don't believe in that. And so on and so forth. So, with that being said, those couple Christmases that she could do something, though, I remember this one specific Christmas where I got, I had a PlayStation 2 already, I think, because my dad got me one around tax time at the beginning of the year. No, it wasn't tax time. It was just a random time. I don't know if he just got out of jail or something, but I know my dad randomly was just like, let's go get a PlayStation. But I didn't have any games. Like, I didn't have any fun games worth playing. I didn't have anything. Like, I think... I could only borrow my brothers and friends' games from school. That was it. I didn't really have anything. And I remember the Christmas tree was up. It was a couple days before Christmas. I think we were in the middle of Christmas break. And I saw my cousin. I was downstairs doing something near the Christmas tree. I think I was like spying on the presents. And my cousin comes in with like a giant stack of PlayStation 2 games in her hand. This is when the PlayStation 2 was like all the rage at the time. This is a big deal. And I'm looking at these games like, and she's like, these not for you. These not for you. Look away. I'm like, well, they're not for me. Why can't I just? And she's like, look away. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then my mom comes downstairs here and she's like, go upstairs. No, they're not for you. They for your cousin Avery. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. I actually believed her. I can't believe it. It was a part of me that was like, nah. But at the same time, I was just like, my mom can be like that sometimes. Okay. Like, maybe they aren't for me. You right. And I only got to see a couple of them. I knew there were like some wrestling games. I saw Constantine the game. I didn't really get to see the rest of them at that moment. I was kind of like trying to see, but she was like putting them behind her back and stuff. So, with that being said, Christmas comes around, or Christmas Eve night, and my mom, we were like staying up till 12. And this is the first time my mom ever let us do that. I guess it was because one of the first times she ever had like real presents for us. The Christmas tree was actually, it was full under the Christmas tree. Couldn't believe it. And this is before my mom had like a bunch of my younger brothers. So it was really just me and my sister and my older siblings who had to really worry about anything on Christmas. So it was a lot of presents. It was less for her to, worry about. And we stayed up till 12 o'clock watching that Boondocks Christmas episode. That's why this episode gives me so much nostalgia. The episode with Riley chasing around Ruckus and the Santa outfit and making him, trying to make him pay what he owe and all that. 12 o'clock came and we looked at my mom and she was like, man, get out my face and go down there and open them presents. Me and my sister took off running down the steps. I think I fell down the steps. I didn't even feel the pain. We just dove under the tree. Which one is my name? Which one is my name? And she's like on the phone with, I think, my cousin, like watching us open the presents. Me and my sister just finding the ones with our names. I think I got a scooter. I'm going to cry talking about this. I think I got a scooter. All those games I was talking about, which ended up being, like I said, wrestling games, Constantine, which actually turned out to be a really good game. I didn't know anything about the movie, but that turned out to be a really fun game. It was like Max Payne. It was kind of like Max Payne. It was really good. What was it? I think I got Van Helsing. And maybe a Need for Speed game. I was just happy to have some games to play. I was so happy to have some games. I didn't even care. Obviously, those weren't the big budget games. Those weren't like, what were the big games on the PlayStation 2? Like SOCOM and Def Jam and the Warriors. Those were the games I was really worried about. But no, Constantine held me over for a while. That game was actually really, really fun, surprisingly. And I was just so happy to have some games. I got like a bunch of, clothes and stuff. And I don't know where she got this money, but she was just so happy. We tackled her. Mom, we love you. You're the best mom. We did the whole thing. As I got older, that type of stuff happened less and less. Because, now I'm a teenager. And obviously I can't get my own money outside of like shoveling when it snowed. So, but still her mindset was, okay, we got younger kids now. It's more about them and they're easier to please. When she got us Christmas presents, it started being like, you know, stuff, just, maybe some shoes, maybe some clothes, maybe some jeans and stuff like that, which in hindsight I did need, but an Xbox One wouldn't have hurt, so on and so forth. Xbox 360 and all when that stuff started coming out. But as I get older, my things I wanted started to become more and more expensive. So I kind of got left out. But at least the vibe of Christmas was there. That was at least there. Fast forward all these years. Obviously, I participated in Christmas with my significant others. But fast forward all these years, man, I've watched as a whole society, Christmas become less and less of an affair. And obviously, that could just be my perspective, because I'm working all year now. If you work in the service industry, it kind of ramps up around that time, and you pretty much, put your head down and just, get busy making other people's Christmas holidays come true. I see people coming in with their Christmas hats on and doing Secret Santas at tables and stuff like that. Christmas probably exists for them. Kids coming in pajamas with, little Rudolph reindeer things on it. Maybe Christmas still exists for these people. But I do serve, at the jobs I've worked at, I do serve clientele that I think is a little bit more upper middle class, upper class people. So we all know that those people are the ones who get to experience what used to be normal to everybody. They're like some of the only people who have that luxury of hey, I got you a plane ticket to Rome, I got you season pass to this. I bought you a PlayStation 5, even though you already have an Xbox Series X. I got you a PlayStation 5 anyway, just because I know you might want to play. But, these are the type of things we're around. So maybe it exists for them. But for us normal people, it seems like just the stresses of the economy and the stresses of dating and the stresses of family drama and the stresses of just our mental health are really putting a damper on the extra Christmas ambiance. They're taking away from the extra Christmas feeling. Just the atmosphere. Honestly, today I went to HEB to get some stuff, just some little groceries for myself, just to hold me over till I get back to work in a couple days. And it just, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. It was kind of busy in there, but it wasn't like it used to be, man. I don't know why, but when I think back to going shopping Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas Eve, Christmas, to get last minute food items with my parents or my cousins or my mom, my brothers, I feel like there would just be Christmas music playing. There's fake snow all over the place. There's trees up everywhere. You see people driving down the street with trees on top of their cars. I know I'm in Texas now, so it ain't gonna be no snow, but it snowed a couple Christmases when I was up north. That helps. You just see, kids everywhere. You see just stuff going on. It's just an ambiance. It felt like when you stepped outside, there was theme music. It was just a vibe of just ching, 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 Christmas. Be having a wonderful Christmas time. It was everywhere. In the neighborhood I lived in up north, I think there was one year where there actually were some people going around singing. I think, funny enough, don't quote me on that, but I think that actually happened. So see what I mean? It's there's you go to the Walmarts, there's a Salvation Army people out there ringing the bell. There's Santa Claus lines at the mall. Just people everywhere shopping, last minute shopping, running around, going crazy. It felt like the normalest day ever. I know that's not proper English. It felt like the most normal day ever going shopping. Like I said, it was a little busy, but it felt like the most normal day. And while I'm out and around, I'm seeing maybe a Christmas sweater here and there, maybe if I'm looking. And I'm looking. I go to grab some food just to see if this place, Church's Chicken. I really like Church's Chicken. They've really come a long way over the years. I'll go to grab just a little food to treat myself. And the people that were in there, they weren't, they didn't say no happy holidays. They didn't say no Merry Christmas and have a happy, they weren't dressed up. I know they had like limited hours and they're probably trying to get out of there, but I felt like that was something you just saw. I feel like you go to McDonald's and it was just a vibe. Like they just had stuff going on. And lights, there's no lights. There's one house on my entire street that has lights up. One house. And it's the biggest house on the block. Probably the only people with like any adequate, finances on this street. Because the rest of the houses on the street are like roommate, duplex type situations. Nobody's decorating. I don't see no trees. I don't see nothing going on, man. I don't hear no kids outside playing. I don't hear no, like, just people driving around, blasting Christmas music out their cars. And it's just, the vibes ain't there. And haven't been there for a couple years, man. The only place that I see that, like, has some type of Christmas cheer going on last year and this year is the bar I went to. I went to a bar last night. I didn't drink. I just went to go, and I ended up running into a friend there. And while I'm just like people watching there, because that was the point. I worked really hard these last couple of days. I was working doubles, trying to save up for this car I want. I got a couple more doubles coming up. I can't wait. I'm almost there, guys. I will show off this car to the channel. This unremarkable car that I'm gonna be so proud of. But yeah, I went and I'm just people watching, and I'm like, okay, after a couple drinks, I'm starting to see people, pull out Santa hats, people pulling up in little Mrs. Claus little outfits and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, at the bar it's popping. At the bar you kind of feel it after a couple drinks, but just throughout the day, it's not that. It's not that. And it's this economy, social media, it's ruining everything we hold dear, man. Because it's not about living these things anymore. It's about appearing that you are online and then completely disconnecting from the real world, in the sense that you go live these things out loud in the real world. That takes too much energy. That takes, creativity, thought, energy, like willpower. That takes patience. That takes, you gotta, if as a family, I remember going to have to go pick up, I remember having to go, it wasn't when I was living with my mom. It was when I, moved in with my friend for a little while. I remember going with them to have to go pick up trees. It was an annoying process, but it was very rewarding. It was ridiculous though, like, because my friend's mom, she cared about getting real trees. She cared about, it had to be like a real Christmas tree, not like a Walmart one. So we had to go to different tree places, and it's just like, man, this was a whole ordeal. And it's a real tree, so the pine needles are all coming off. It's stabbing us while we're trying to pick up the tree. It's cutting us. It's just a mess. Trying to tie it on top of the van the right way. We're kids. We don't know what we're doing. She's kind of, nervous because she don't know if we tied it right. This whole ordeal. But we get back to the house, get some hot chocolate, set up this tree, and just stand back and look at it with the lights on it. You can smell the pine inside the house because it's enclosed space. And it's just like, man, it's Christmas. Stuff like that. People don't have time. That tree was like $200. That was before the inflation we're dealing with now. People don't have time for that, man. What? We're right back to work. I'm right back to work the day after Christmas. I'm like, listen, it'll be Christmas when I get this car. Like, whatever. But I think a lot of people have similar reasons to feel a similar way, where it's just like, man, there's some big traditions that are just going unkept. That's not proper English either. But there's some big traditions that are being pushed off to the wayside, and our only traditions now for holidays are just make it look good on social media and then get drunk. That's it. And the getting drunk only kind of marginally is because of the holiday. That's just an excuse. It's a couple days off work. We just gonna get drunk anyway. Like, just to decompress from the week. That's literally it. That's literally all people care about. Get high, get drunk, and then make it look good on social media, whatever it is. It's insane to me. It's insane. It really is. And a lot of these traditions and a lot of the feeling around these holidays and what be going on and stuff is because of the generation coming up, my generation. We got to see the death of it, and there's going to be very few of us that are going to want to go out of our way to keep it going. And so few of us are having kids to even keep it going for, because a lot of these holidays have to do with the kids. You ain't having no kids, you ain't worried about having no kids. You'll kind of weigh the pros and cons of how hard you want to go for Christmas. If you're just a normal person making normal money for yourself. If you're a single, atomized person, what you gonna go do? Christmas, go see the lights with your situationship? Like, what? What do we do? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna go do? You can go ice skating on Christmas with your FWB person you can't really be seen out in public with. What? You gonna tell them to wear a mask the whole time? Like, what are we doing? Tell people you're my brother. Like, what? Like, this is what I'm saying, man. This is like the world we're building up for ourselves in this generation, just through all this nonsense, is the reason that everything is so messed up and the traditions are not being carried out. Our priorities are a mess in general, and it's not necessarily our fault. We're trying to just leverage what we can leverage to get the biggest bang for our buck when we can get it, because we won't have many opportunities to have a good time. So instead of, okay, let's sacrifice all this stuff now, sacrifice, have kids, keep the traditions going, sacrifice. You won't get as big of a return on that as you would back then, trying to live the lifestyle that we had growing up. I'm gonna just sacrifice, get a house, sacrifice, get. You can only sacrifice so much if they're not giving you hours at work, if you can't find a job other than Wendy's. I mean, how many times is Wendy's gonna let you work 80 hours a week in a year? How many times is Wendy's gonna let you do that? Amazon, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I'm not saying it's impossible, because some people are obviously, breaking their backs to do it for their families or for themselves, which is a beautiful thing. I just feel like this world we've set up is so short-term gain based, so short-term gain, forget tomorrow based, that all these types of traditions that took some time and some investment and some sacrifice and some, planning and careful, meticulous strategizing are just going away. And all that matters is making it look good for social media. It's so much more important to look like you're doing something than to actually do something. It's so sad. And I feel like what confirmed this for me was I asked my coworker last night, hey man, what are you gonna do for the holidays? He listed off how he was gonna cook all this stuff and get have a good time, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, you got family coming over? He's like, yeah. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna I'm cooking and all this stuff. I was like, oh, that's great. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, what? He's like, no, I absolutely hate my family. I hate my family. That's why I'm gonna make sure alcohol's there. I absolutely hate my family. And I know how this day is gonna go. We're all gonna end up fighting and arguing and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, but you get like 2 hours of like, oh, I love you. That's how my family can be sometimes. I get it. It's not like it used to be. And maybe some of that did happen in the past, but it seemed like the good outweighed the bad. But who knows? Maybe my perspective is skewed. Maybe you guys tell me. A lot more people are atomized, and there's a lot more stuff going on that pushes people into corners where Christmas celebration, Thanksgiving banquets ain't it. Just ain't it. And with that being said, guys, I don't know, man. It's Christmas Eve now. Tomorrow, my only mission is to just find some eggnog. I have very low standards for myself this time of year. I just want to drink some eggnog. I love eggnog. It's one of my favorite things, like drinks, and it only comes around in the fall in any consistent kind of way. I just want to find some eggnog, come back home, and do what I would do as a kid. Play the game, enjoy my laptop. I went and got my laptop out of the pawn shop. I pawned my laptop to get my game out when I was in a very stressful financial predicament, and I really wanted to play the game again. And Battlefield 6 was about to come out, so I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get the game. So I had to pawn the laptop and my PlayStation 4 to get my PlayStation 5 out. But now I got them all. I got my PlayStation 4 over there, all my games. I got PlayStation 5 right here. I got my computer. I'm basically gonna just like do what I would do as a kid and just like act like all these things are like brand new gifts and just lock myself in with that before I get back to grind, man. Because right after the day after Christmas, I'm right back to it. Locked in, locked in. 13-hour days. Like trying to get this car. As of right now, I'm on a good pace. I'm making like $250, $260 a day working. Like I'm picking up shifts. I'm not playing. That's my Christmas. That's what Christmas is about for me. That's where the Christmas spirit is for me. Just doing for myself, not necessarily in the name of being selfish, but I have neglected myself real bad over the years. And one thing we know about this time is if you're not gonna do it for yourself, it ain't gonna be many people that's gonna do it for you. It ain't gonna be many people that's gonna do it for you without ulterior motives. At least if you know, hey, as long as I'm not hurting nobody, if I do it for myself, what ulterior motives am I gonna have for myself, Some of us can't trust ourselves, we gotta be careful, but most of the time, we can, what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off track here, guys, but thank y'all for watching this video and, enjoying this little moment in Christmas history with me. Yeah, this is gonna be a very quiet Christmas for me. Like I said, I just wanna go get some eggnog, come back in the house, and rot away playing Battlefield 6. So, if y'all want someone to talk to, hit me up in the comments. Maybe y'all play Battlefield 6 too. We can squad up. I'm with whatever. I'll be here. I'll be on all day. I literally have nothing to do. Everything's gonna be closed around me. So with that being said, guys, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how y'all's Christmas is going on. If y'all got any plans, if y'all relate, if y'all don't, if I'm a whining little child, all is welcome. Thank y'all. Ho, 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 and have a Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you.